welcome back to Millers in Motion. We are officially in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We decided to take a Labor Day trip, which is abnormal for us. Typically on holidays, we don't really get out and travel a whole lot because, well, they're really busy. But we are meeting up with some friends, some of our family members. They're actually the Gars. So in a few videos ago, you guys met Wes when I was picking Lauren up from the airport on the little ticker. Well, this is the Gars. So we're excited to see them. They also have our doppelganger rig. So we're excited to see that. But we're just getting settled in. We're a little hungry, so we're going to go grab some food. And then if we run into them, the video camera may come up, may come not. This might fast forward to tomorrow morning. It's about 8 o'clock here in Hot Springs that we just rolled in, and so we're getting set up. So, to food or something. Also, the Badgers are playing tonight. Go Bucky! Well, good morning. We're going to explore Hot Springs, and coming up first thing this morning, because we got in at like 7:30 last night, so we grabbed some dinner, just kind of relaxed a little bit. So we are up early this morning, and we are going to go into Hot Springs National Park and do a quick hike this morning. Morning walk time.
Made it into Hot Springs National Park. The drive up was gorgeous, and we are on the Goat Trail, or Goat Rock Trail, not the Goat Trail. It's about 2.5 miles, and so far it is beautiful, but it is it's a little gravelly up there, and it is steep so far, but it's gorgeous.
All right, so this has been the Goat Rock Trail. I know we didn't film a whole lot of it because Ryan's still not in great shape. But my couple of tips are, it's a very long switchback to get up here, so I wouldn't bring, like the Dooley Pearl did it fine. But anything bigger or longer than that, no. And don't bring your RV. There's actually a sign at the bottom that says no vehicles over 30 feet. I would argue 25 feet is probably more accurate. Pearl's about 22-ish. So, and with the Dooley, parking was fine. I would get here early. This trail specifically, the parking, there's only like 5 or 6 spots and one handicap spot. If you're going to come to this one now, you can go to other parking areas and walk to the trailhead, but this one's at the trailhead. So as far as the hike itself, it is switchbacks down a mountain and back up a mountain. I'm using the term mountain a little loosely. An Arkansas mountain, whatever that means. But overall, great little hike. Nice little introduction to Hot Springs, I think is the best way to say that. Would you agree? She said absolutely if you didn't hear that. So, with that being said, I have no idea what we're doing next, but let's go do that.
Hot Springs National Park is a destination where nature, history, and healing come together in the heart of Arkansas. Established in 1832, it holds the title as the oldest federally protected land in the U.S., even older than Yellowstone. For centuries, people have come here to bathe in the thermal water, seeking relief and rejuvenation from the natural springs bubbling beneath the mountains. In the late 1800s to early 1900s, this natural wonder gave rise to the famous Bathhouse Row. 8 elegant bathhouses were built along Central Avenue, transforming Hot Springs into a thriving health resort. At its peak, the town was known as America's Spa, attracting everyone from politicians to professional athletes eager to enjoy the healing properties of the water. Today, 2 of these iconic bathhouses still operate as spas. Stepping inside, you can experience the same thermal baths that were once beloved to cure everything from arthritis to skin conditions. The water is rich in minerals and heated naturally as it flows up from the deep within the earth. But there is more to explore beyond the bathhouses. The park itself offers miles of hiking trails, scenic drives, and peaceful picnic areas, all surrounding the hot springs that have made this place famous. Whether you come to immerse yourself in history, seek a relaxing soak, or hike the lush hills, Hot Springs National Park is a unique blend of natural beauty and historical charm.
Good morning. We had an absolute blast yesterday exploring downtown Hot Springs, where all the baths are. We did a lot of that off camera just because we wanted to enjoy our time with the Gars. But going forward, we're going to show you all the things. The bathhouse area, it is what it is. It was very crowded. But this morning, Lauren and I are going to solo roll for a little bit, and we are going to the Garvan Woodland Gardens. There's apparently a very cool chapel that's there that we're going to go explore. So, let's hit the road.
We are at the Garvan Woodland Gardens, and this is the Botanical Gardens of the University of Arkansas. A little over 200 acres to explore today, and we learned that they also have golf carts, so maybe we'll use that for the 200 acres.
Maybe.
But and there's a really cool chapel where apparently you can get married. We already did that. We don't need to do that again.
Get married or go see a chapel?
Get married.
Okay. So one difference is that the gardens themselves are separate from Anthony's Chapel. So we're heading over to Anthony's Chapel now, and to get there you actually have to leave the park just a little bit and kind of hang a hard left. I'm not sure why they're separate, but they do a lot of weddings here, so maybe that's why. Who knows? So that is it for the Garvan Woodland Gardens. Overall, pretty fun, kind of cool experience. So it is $20 if you pre-buy online, so there's always people kind of hanging around the front. My suggestion would be get here early. It got people-y kind of quick. So other than that, it's a lot of fun. But now we're going to head back to the RV and on to the next thing after some lunch. Well, good morning from our last full day here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We've had an absolute blast. We have actually been camping this whole time with the Gar family, so that's why the footage is a little bit choppy, is because when we camp with our family members, we spend more time kind of focusing on them than necessarily focusing on us or a little bit of a video. So this is a shameless plug that if you are an Inspire level family member, we go out of our way to camp specifically one-on-one with them. We saw Wes and Mickey Miller a few weeks back when we were in Florida. And this week we planned a Labor Day camping trip with the Gar family, and we've had an absolute blast. Jessica and Andy, thank you guys so much. It's been a blast, and thank you for being Inspire level family members. So, but before we get on with our day, which is going to be kind of more of a chill day compared to what we're doing, yesterday we went to a distillery, and then we just went to Texas Roadhouse for dinner. The distillery was called Crystal River. Crystal Ridge Distillery here in Arkansas. It was a lot of fun. There's a little bit of video here from that, and we had a blast. Bought too many things. They have really cool vodka like soda drinks that we ended up buying. The whiskey was okay. When I go to distilleries, I always ask myself if it's better than what I'm currently drinking in that genre, I'll buy it. If it's not, I don't. So I'm a big fan of Buffalo Trace, Maker's Mark, and then my TX, so I stick with that stuff. So anyway, but before we go, I wanted to show you guys around the campground. As you can see behind me, we have a really cool site. It is an executive back-end, but before we dive into the whole campground, let me show you this site. All right, all the sites are super long back-ends. As you can see, there's this big loop that runs all the way around from here. That right there is actually the GARS, and stay tuned for something about that rig, because that's special rig. But as you can see, our Valor, so pretty simple site, not a whole lot to it. You got a fire pit, you got a table, you've got a grill, concrete pad, and then we have an executive waterfront back in. So for us, what that means is we back right up to the lake here. So this is Catherine's Landing Lake, and we have we can actually go right down to it. It's a little bit steep, as you can see, but if I wanted to, I could absolutely just get right down there. So, and looking back, you can see we have our patio down so the dogs could lay out. It rained yesterday, so today's the only day we've been able to have the patio down. Bikes are sitting right there. But overall, it's been a pretty good site. It's accomplished everything we wanted to accomplish, so that's all great. Now let's go take a little bit of a walk around this RV resort. Super unique thing, it is actually Labor Day today. Lauren's also off tomorrow, so we are staying through Labor Day, but the mass exodus has started. So you're gonna see a lot of people pulling out, leaving as we kind of go through. Also, I'm at the front of the park now. So we are actually staying at Catherine's Landing. It is part of a larger company that I don't remember the name of. It's the same company that ran the resort we stayed at in Pigeon Forge. So that's why we kind of picked it. But let me flip you guys around. So it's RVC Outdoors. So that's the main entrance when you come in. And then as you pull through, you actually come right through here. That little blue building off to the left is check-in. And then this is their main kind of lodge, they call it. But it's the office. It's kind of where the pool is and all of those types of things. So this campground does have two kind of sections. There's the section we're in, which I don't know if there's a name differentiating the two of them, but it's off to the left, and there's also one off to the right. As you come around here, you have the pool area. So it's not currently open, so I'm not going to go in there because it's locked, but you can see they have ample chairs, pool. On the far side, there's a splash pad. Also, it's kind of hard to see, but in the distance, you can kind of see that tower back there behind the splash pad. That is a part of a zip line. So they have another company that's here that does all like zip line and outdoor activities and those kinds of things. And that is called Adventure Works. And you can see that sign right there, essentially explaining all of those things. So something else that's pretty cool is they don't just have RV sites. So they have yurts. They have their own boat launch and dock cottages. They also have disc golf. They can fill propane, and then they also have tent camping sites. So as we come in, there's two different ways. You can go to the right and go to the far side. Has a similar style to it. We're going to stay on this on the left side. So as you come in, we're going to specifically stay on the left side. As you can see, there's cabins right there, and then a bunch of pull-through RV sites. There is a dog park, but that's a stretch of a definition, is the best way to say that. It's not necessarily, technically a dog park. So by now you know us, RV sites are RV sites. They have pull-throughs, they have back ends. Most of the RV sites here are pull-throughs. Isn't bad. They're normally pretty sloped, and then when you get to this main section, they're really flat, and then they slope again. So most of the RVs kind of fit in it. And yes, I know I'm cutting through one. Shame on me. But I'm trying to get over here and show you the dog park. So you know us by now. You know that we kind of do the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, we'll talk about our overall impressions here in a little bit. For now, it's just more to show you the thing. So this treat area is separating the two sides. This up here on the right is literally the only dog park, air quotes. So this is it. So it's definitely more take your dogs on a walk situation, but if they need a little off-leash time, this does exist, but it does very much so feel like it was an afterthought, unfortunately. Now, they do have these little dog stations. They could probably have a few more of them, but they do have them around, and of course, they use the cheapest, thinnest bags possible. Now, while I walk to kind of our next spot to show off something, I will tell you that this is not a cheap resort. I think location's a lot of it. We're on the south side of Hot Springs, so getting to like the national park and the bathhouses and all that took about 15 to 20 minutes, traffic pending, of course. Now, it is a very pretty park because you're nestled down in one of the valleys, and you have the lake, as you can see kind of on our right over here, that a lot of the sites can back up to. All right, well, walking down to the complete opposite side, for you guys that took seconds. For me, it was 20 minutes. You can see there was a boathouse there on our left, and this is the lake access and boat launch area. So if you're staying here, you can actually bring your own boat. I'm assuming jet skis. I haven't seen many of them, but you can bring your own boat. You can also rent boats here. So you can rent boats, you can rent golf carts, and then you can, if you brought your own, you can launch as well. So I don't know the prices on any of that stuff just because we didn't have time to do any of that, unfortunately. But it is an option. And the cool thing is, like I said, you can come right on down here. Now, I don't know if they allow you to dock your boat here or not. They may. Again, that's one of those where ask before you come situation. But as you can see, we are literally on the water. A lot of people have stuff on here, so I'm kind of assuming that that's why they have rentals. Or they allow docking potentially because of that fact that they don't, there are they're like, these all look like rentals, but those back there look like they may be people's personal boats. And then looking from the dock over to our left here, that is the actual boat launch area as well. And then that's where their canoes and kayaks and all that stuff can be rented as well. I believe you just go up to the shop to do all that. So I will tell you, off to the side in the woods is where the yurts and some more cabins are, and the tent sites. They were pretty full, so I didn't exactly want to go down there and just start filming. Also, they are a ways back, so know that if you're going to a yurt, that you're going to have to walk a few hundred yards more than likely to get back to them. There are a few up front, but for the most part, they were back pretty deep in the woods, which is cool once you're there, but depending on how much stuff you bring. So, would we stay here again? Probably not. The resort we stayed at in Pigeon Forge, the landing in Pigeon Forge, we loved it. We would go back to, perfect location for us. We'd go back there in a heartbeat. Here, for the price of what it was, now we stayed over Labor Day, and it was somewhere in the vicinity of about it was like 110, 120 a night for our site. We, again, had the most expensive site because we did the executive back in. So because of that, it was pricey. Now, we stayed 4 nights. You could do some math. There were a few more taxes and fees involved with all of that. You get the gist. Now, with that also being said, the average stay here over Labor Day, like one of the pull-through sites, was about $90, I believe. Now, tonight's cheaper than yesterday because technically the holiday ends today and not a lot of people are sticking around. As you kind of saw as I walked around, the mass exodus has started. So, it's kind of one of those where situational, depending on what you're looking to do. Now, with that being said, I feel like for the money that it should be better maintained, if that makes sense. Like when we spend that kind of money, like Fort Wilderness at Disney, Camp Margaritaville, any of them, but I'm talking about Auburndale, the RVC resort, landing at Pigeon Forge, all of those resorts were immaculately maintained. This one, like you could tell they needed to trim the sites, like come with like an edger and clean up the pads. The staff has been super friendly. I'm not gonna lie, I've only called in. I haven't talked to anybody else, but the guys, they have trash service twice a day. So there are amenities that justify the price, but at the same time, I just feel like it should be a little bit better maintained for what you're paying. Now, I don't know the regular prices, like if we were to book in a few weeks or peak season. So take that with a grain of salt. It could be significantly less and maybe it makes more sense. But during Labor Day weekend, I feel like a little prep should have gone into for people spending that much money. So with that, let's head back to the RV and start getting on with our day. Also, a little fun fact is we haven't been to temperatures below 100 degrees in a really long time. And here, it is officially only going to be like 88 today. And when we go back to Texas, like we're going to cool off. I'm so excited about that. I cannot tell you. We've had Reflectix in our windows now for a while, and it feels like a cave. Well, that's changing because we've taken some of it down, so it's starting to feel like an RV again, not a cave. Well, this is just gonna about do it for our first portion of our time here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We're on a quick little walk for the dogs because next week's video is going to be from yesterday. You're welcome. No, stay tuned till next week because the Gar family, who we have been hanging out with for this long weekend, they have a very customized Alliance Valor, and so
Really cool.
we deep dive into that next week. So make sure and come back because it's super cool. Some of the things they've done, they have some cool tips and tricks to kind of live. And they have a family of 3 kiddos, younger. So there's some really cool tricks that we don't do because we don't need to. We dog-proof our rig, not kid-proof it. So, but we are taking one last quick little hike through the RV park kind of area. There's a little trail, wooded area right behind it. And then we're going to pack up and head out.
Hit the road.
And then it's coming soon. We're going back to Elkhart. So that'll be the next travel destination. But until then, we have to run back to North Texas very briefly. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining us as always. And if you want to learn more, head over to millersinmotion.com and check out all the links down below for everything we've done.
All right. Bye, Mom.